Right, so I'm on my lunch break and I got to see a really interesting comment where someone was saying that, by increasing the minimum wage and also wages for workers, that ends up benefiting companies. And I think the logic behind that is basically if you have a lot more people making a lot more money, that when they go to shop, that's just going right in corporations' pocket and increasing their profits. Now, I think that yes, that can be true, but there's larger issues at play here, which is the fact that the wealth gap is only widening and there's not a solution. So I think that in part, we also, yes, need to tackle a lot. It's not only about, in my opinion, increasing wages to match the cost of living, but we also have to look at how companies are allowed to abuse their power. For example, there's been so many mergers approved, which decreases competition in the market. A good example is how, in the gaming industry, Xbox purchased Activision. One of their promises that they made that the price of Game Pass would not increase. At the time when Game Pass was introduced, it was $10, increased to $20, and now it's going up to $30. Why? Because they can do it as a corporation. And you even seen during COVID times that Kroger, who was asking for a merger, was scrutinized because they were increasing their prices on eggs well above the market value, all in the name of profit. Then you look at corporations who give a huge pay package to their CEOs and others who are in high-ranking positions. So, if we're talking about like the cost and the money going to corporations and ignoring the fact that there is a wealth disparity in this country, we're not going to get a solution. And we also need strong regulation to limit the amount that companies can merge into these huge conglomerates only to take advantage of consumers. I mean, another case in point is private equity firms, right? They will purchase companies and completely strip them. For example, Toys R Us. Toys R Us actually had a pretty good structure, but they sold the land, they increased how much they had to pay on interest, and then they abandoned them, and then they went bankrupt. Meanwhile, private equity firms completely left unscathed. They even done this to hospitals, and I think that, to be honest, corporations should stay away from making profit off of someone else's health and time of need in their health. I think that that should not be associated with capitalism. So we need regulation to prevent these private equity firms and corporations from taking advantage of the American